It may seem like you're saving a bunch of money by using the builder's or seller's preferred lender or title company, but make sure you know the risks before going down this road. Yes, there are some risks and they can be pretty big. Hey guys, I'm Christian and I've been in the mortgage industry since 2001, and in this video, I'm gonna go over all you need to know about using a seller's preferred services. Now there can be some benefits, but there can also be some major risks. And I've personally seen a few of these risks that didn't end so well for the buyer, and I'll share that story. If you know someone that could use this information, please be sure to share this content with them. This is most common with newly built homes. In some cases, the builder will give you credit for using their preferred lender and title company. So it sounds like a fair deal, right? The builder establishes a relationship with some other companies and gives a credit to use them. It might not always be what it seems though. There could be a lot of risk when using a service that is connected with the seller. So imagine this. Let's say you want to add a room to your house and you meet with the contractor, you go over all the plans and they build your room. After it's completed, you want a second opinion just to make sure everything was built the way that it needed to be. So you ask the builder who they recommend you use for an inspection. They say they have just the right person and they give you a discount on the construction if you use that inspector. So would you trust the report that this inspector gives you? Of course you wouldn't, right? You'd want an inspector that doesn't know the builder to look at the work completed and let you know if it's truly safe. So maybe the inspector is trustworthy, but there's just too much risk for this scenario. Did you know that you have similar risk when you're using the lender and or the title company provided by the seller? Now, a few years ago, I worked on a refinance. A couple had purchased a home from the builder and they used the title company that the builder recommended for the purchase. So a year or so later, mortgage rates dropped quite a bit and we worked on a refinance for them. Now we ordered a title report on this property using a different title company, and when the title came back, there was a mechanics lien for $30,000. Turns out the builder and the framer didn't agree on the amount paid for framing the house, and the framer filed a lawsuit against the builder. This all took place a month before the home was finished, and so a mechanics lien had already been filed by the time the home was completed. But the builder's title company left it off the title report that was submitted to the lender and buyer. Now, if that client tries to sell their house, they'll have to pay off a $30,000 lien out of their proceeds. So the builder got paid, but the homeowner is out money. Now, what if that buyer had used their own title company instead of the builder's? Well, they would have been made aware of the mechanics lien up front, and the builder would have had to take care of it prior to closing. So if a builder offers a large incentive to use their recommended services, kind of makes you wonder. There are laws in place so that the builder can't require you to use their recommended services, but they can offer money to use them. So if this has happened to you or someone you know, please be sure to let me know in the comments. Now, I like to make sure that all services are completely independent of the builder. That's the lender, title company, home inspector, and insurance. So the risk is just too high for me to use somebody associated with the seller. Now, sometimes those incentives can be attractive, so I'm gonna let you know a strategy that some have used to still get the incentive, even if they haven't used the builder's services. And I've seen this happen at least 10 times over the years. Now, I can't guarantee that it will work for you, but here it is, and you can decide. Builders are not gonna appreciate me telling you this, but the purpose of this channel is to give you guys some insider information. A veteran put a new home under contract with the builder. The builder offered $10,000 to use their preferred services, but the veteran didn't want to be pushed and chose his own services. A week before closing, the veteran and his agent called the builder, and the veteran had some unexpected expenses that came up and now didn't have quite enough money to go to closing. Knowing that the builder had budgeted for this money in the incentives, the veteran asked if they could apply that money towards the purchase, right? Makes sense. The builder turned him down, and a couple days passed. The builder's agent called the buyer's agent to see if they'd come up with a solution yet, right? The buyer's agent said, not yet. Later that day, the builder's agent called back and said, how much are you short? So the buyer's agent said, well, we're short $17,000. Builder's agent said, you'll have an addendum in 30 minutes with $17,000 in seller's concessions. Can you close quickly if we do that? So the buyer ended up getting more than the original $10,000. Crazy, right? Like I've said, I've seen this scenario happen over 10 times throughout the years, and I'm not recommending that you use this strategy, but it kind of makes sense. At the beginning, the seller or the builder can have a lot of leverage, but at the end, that leverage switches to the buyer's side. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, please be sure to hit the like button and share it with others. Thanks so much for watching.